Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking through a couple NFL player props I like on Prizepicks for this week, week 16. Now for this video specifically, we're going to be talking about two props that I like for Saturday. So we do have two games on Saturday. We have the Steelers and the Bengals, and then we have the Bills and the Chargers. I got two props, guys, that I do like for these two games. I do have a prop that I like from each game. Don't know yet if I'm going to make a video for the full Sunday slate of games. If I do make a video for the Sunday slate, that'll probably get posted later on Saturday night. But with it being like the holiday season right now, doing a lot of traveling for family stuff, it's definitely it's hard to make content right now. But I'm still trying to pump out videos for you guys. I did want to make a video for these Saturday NFL games, and I do plan on posting a NBA video after this one, giving out some props I like for NBA today. A lot of NBA games today on Saturday, so. We got two props to talk about in this video. Before we do talk through these two plays though, as always, if you guys do enjoy these Prizepicks videos, if they do help you out, make sure you hit that like button down below. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new to Prizepicks and if you don't have an account over on Prizepicks, be sure to sign up. Use that promo code NOLA when you do sign up, and you will get your first deposit matched up to $100. Also, I do want to give a quick shout out to Sleeper because we do have a partnership with Sleeper as well, guys. And if you don't have an account over on Sleeper, you can sign up for Sleeper, use that promo code NOAH over on Sleeper. You'll get your first deposit matched up to $500. So if you like to make larger deposits, or if you're able to make larger deposits, you will get your first deposit matched up to $500 over on Sleeper. Use that promo code NOAH when you do sign up to get your deposit bonus. Check out Sleeper if you guys have not yet. But let's talk through this Prizepicks slate and what I'm liking for Saturday for NFL. We got two props, guys, a fantasy score prop that I'm liking, and then a receptions prop that I'm liking. So for fantasy score, we're going to start off in the Bengals and Steelers game, and we're going to look at Tyler Boyd, 8 fantasy score. I like Tyler Boyd to go over 8 fantasy score here, so more than 8 fantasy score for Tyler Boyd. Now, if you look at Tyler Boyd's recent games, obviously it doesn't look great. There's a lot of red. However, you can't really look at his recent games because we do have no Jamar Chase in this game. So obviously when you take out Jamar Chase, that's just going to open up a lot of targets, a lot of playing time as well. We haven't seen Jamar Chase miss a game yet this season, but Chase did miss 4 games last season. And in 4 games last season without Jamar Chase, we did see Boyd go over this fantasy score line in 2 out of 4 games. He had at least 5 targets in 3 out of those 4 games. The playing time for Boyd, he's typically been like their wide receiver 3 in terms of playing time, in terms of like snaps played. He'll play behind T. Higgins and Chase, but now without Chase, I think we will see Boyd probably step in as the wide receiver 2. Even if he still plays mainly out of the slot, he should still get a good amount of playing time here. If you look at the games he's played this season without T. Higgins, the snaps were pretty good for Boyd in those games where he basically got to step in as the wide receiver 2. One game without T. Higgins, he played 73% of snaps, 92%, 90%, 63%. So he did see a nice jump in his snap share in the games he played without T. Higgins this year. I think we probably see that be the same here without Jamar Chase. Now, I know the Bengals right now don't have Jake Browning, or excuse me, not Jake Browning, Jake Burrow. But without Jake Burrow, or Joe Burrow, excuse me, I'm messing up the names between Jake and Joe. Without Joe Burrow, we have still seen Jake Browning play really well lately. Jake Browning's actually not been that bad. He's been able to get his guys the ball, and I think we're going to see Boyd have a pretty good role here as one of the top receivers for the Bengals in this game. Browning's been playing well. He's been able to get his guys the ball. If Tyler Boyd's going to be out there for 75-80% of the snaps, if he's going to basically be operating as their wide receiver 2, I like his chances of putting up 8 fantasy points. Prizepicks, their fantasy point system, their scoring system, it is full PPR, so you do get a point per reception. And if we look at Boyd's props this week, you look at his lines, he's basically projected for almost 4 catches and 40 yards, which would be 8 fantasy points. He has a receiving prop of 34.5. He has a reception prop of 3.5. I mean, if he gets 4 catches for 40 yards, that's 8 fantasy points. Obviously, the chances of Boyd scoring a touchdown are not great. But if he does get into the end zone, we're going to be looking really good for Boyd. Obviously, if he catches a touchdown, he's almost, I wouldn't say guaranteed, but he's just about guaranteed to go over this fantasy score line. So I like this 8 fantasy score line on Tyler Boyd. I think this line probably should be like 9, 9.5. I definitely think 8 is a little too low. And I was looking at some projections around the industry. Right now, Sleeper, they have their line on Tyler Boyd just over 9 fantasy points. And the DFS projections that I look at, that I have access to, have Tyler Boyd projected for just over 10 fantasy points. So I do think this line of 8 fantasy score on Tyler Boyd is a little bit too low here. Expecting a more of an increased role for Boyd in the spot without Jamar Chase. He should be operating as one of their top wide receivers. I know they don't have Joe Burrow right now, but Jake Browning's played well. He's not been terrible as a backup quarterback. He's been able to get his guys the ball. And Boyd should be looking at some decent volume here. Another prop I do like for Tyler Boyd, if you don't want to play the 8 fantasy score, I do like over 5 targets. I think Boyd's got a pretty good chance of getting at least 5 targets. He's had at least 5 targets in 4 out of his last 5 games. You would expect the volume to increase for Boyd here as well, in the absence of Chase. And it's rare that you see a player have a 3.5 reception prop and only have a 5 target prop. Typically, that line would be like 5.5. So I like that one too if you want to take that. Tyler Boyd, more than 5 targets. But for the sake of this video, we're going to stick with the 8 fantasy score for Tyler Boyd. And then the other play that I like, going to the Chargers and Bills game, we're going to look at Josh Palmer, and we're going to look at his 3.5 receptions prop. And I also like the over here for Palmer. So right now, DK Sportsbook, looking at some Sportsbook odds, DK Sportsbook, they do have Palmer minus 150 favored to go over 3.5 receptions. So the Sportsbook odds are pretty heavily favoring the over here for Palmer. And it kind of makes sense because Palmer, he's going to have pretty much an every down role similar to Tyler Boyd. Josh Palmer is stepping into a bigger role right now. The Chargers are just so depleted at wide receiver. No Keenan Allen for this game. Mike Williams out for the season. So without Keenan Allen, without Mike Williams, we should see Josh Palmer and Quentin Johnston operating as the top 2 wide receivers for the Chargers. If you look at last week without Keenan Allen and without Keenan Allen and without Mike Williams, Josh Palmer did play 72% of the snaps, operated as the number 2 wide receiver behind Quentin Johnston. That was Josh Palmer's first game back from injury. So you could argue that he plays even more snaps here since this will be his second game back from injury. He had been out since week 8 or week 9 with I don't know exactly what the injury was, but that was his first game back from injury in 5-6 weeks. Still plays 72% of the snaps even in his first game back. He did see 4 targets in that game against the Raiders, did have 4 catches. And that was just if you watch that Raiders and Chargers game, it was just a wild game. The Chargers went out there and just got the absolute crap beat out of them. That's obviously a wild game script that you can't really expect to happen all the time. Now, this is another spot where the Chargers are pretty big underdogs. I think they're like 12.5-point underdogs here to the Bills. But that could be a good thing. If the Chargers are playing from behind, that's typically going to lead to more pass attempts, hopefully more targets, more opportunities for Josh Palmer. And we have another situation here where the starting quarterback for the Chargers is out right now. No Justin Herbert. But Easton Stick, he's not the best quarterback by any means, but I don't think he's just this trash can. And, I think we are going to see opportunity here for Palmer as the number 1/2 wide receiver for the Chargers. And Palmer has shown the ability to be productive relatively, when he does get opportunity, when he does get playing time. If you look at the games he's played without Keenan Allen, you have to take it with a grain of salt because pretty much all those games were with Justin Herbert at quarterback. But so far in his career, Josh Palmer, he has played, I believe he's played 9 games without Keenan Allen. He's had at least 4 receptions in 6 out of those 9 games, and he's had at least 6 targets in 7 out of those 9 games. So the targets have consistently been there for Palmer. Again, most of those games you look at without Keenan Allen in the past have been with Justin Herbert at quarterback. But still, we're going to see Palmer playing a large majority of the snaps. He should get plenty of opportunity here. This is a game script where the Chargers are expected to be playing from behind. And the sportsbook odds right now do have Josh Palmer pretty heavily favored, minus 150 to go over 3.5 receptions. So that's a play that I do like a lot on Prizepicks. Obviously on Prizepicks, it's a fixed payout system. So no matter if you take the over or the under on this prop for Palmer, it all pays out the same. So that's why I like finding props that have juiced high odds, because on Prizepicks you don't have to lay that juice, you don't have to pay those heavy odds. It all pays out the same. So those are the 2 props, guys, I like for Saturday's NFL games. Again, we have 2 games on Saturday. We got Steelers and Bengals, and then we got we got Bills and Chargers. So if you guys are going to be watching these games on Saturday, if you want some props to play, here are 2 props that I'm liking for these Saturday games. If you guys are going to tell me on these 2 plays, hopefully we can hit both these plays and make some money on this Saturday slate. As always, do appreciate you guys watching the video, supporting the content. Hit that like button if you guys did enjoy. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And again, if you guys are new to Prizepicks, if you don't have an account over on Prizepicks, use that promo code NOAH when you do sign up, and you will get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code. But that's all I got for this Saturday slate of NFL games, guys. Best of luck on this slate. Let's make some money today. I'll see you guys in the next video.